makes of profit while Secretary of State. She gets rich making you poor, he said in a broad speech in New York, which also cast her as a destabilizing force in the Middle East. Mrs. Clinton said the speech was more hypocritical lies. Economists on the left, right and center all agree his dangerous economic policies would throw us back into recession, said her spokesman. Mr. Trump is trailing in the polls and has had a tough couple of weeks, with much criticism within his own party for his response to the Orlando nightclub shooting. But on Wednesday the businessman hit his Democratic rival with full force, saying she does not have the temperament or judgment to be president, and she refuses to recognize the threat of radical Islamic terrorism. Her decisions spread death, destruction and terrorism. One deadly foreign policy decision after another, he said of Mrs. Clinton's tenure at the State Department. He said she wants to let Muslims into the country that want to enslave women and put gays to death. Analysis: Anthony Zerker. BBC News North America reporter Donald Trump promised a bare-knuckles speech with sweeping attacks on Hillary Clinton, and on Wednesday he delivered it. He accused the Democratic presumptive nominee of criminal corruption. He called her a world-class liar. He offered a bullet-point summation of an anti-Clinton book written by a conservative commentator. And he read a letter from the widow of a police officer killed by an undocumented immigrant who said the former Secretary of State had the blood of so many on her hands, and should go to prison to pay for the crimes she has already committed against this country. Guided by his teleprompter, Mr. Trump offered a more focused, methodical attack on Mrs. Clinton than he has normally produced in his stump speeches. But it wasn't any less inflammatory, or prone to occasional exaggerations and misrepresentations. If Mr. Trump will be a more polished candidate with the change of campaign leadership announced this week, it seems clear he will be no less the brash, braggadocious candidate that stormed through the Republican primary season. He attacked her on trade and said her support of the Trans-Pacific Partnership would cost the U.S. thousands